Hello and welcome to Task 62, Assembling Blocks. We are going to start with the starter blocks for tasks 60, 61, and 62 file, which of course, if you've been doing 60 and 61, you know you can find it under Shared with Me in your Onshape sidebar. We are going to make, for this task, we're going to make 3 out of the 4 assemblies in the assignment. So you get to choose where you want to begin. I think I'm going to start with this piece right here, the cylinder on the rectangle with the triangle. Let's give it a try. So we are going to start by creating a new assembly. Well, let me copy my workspace first, of course. I'm going to copy the workspace to start a new file from the starter blocks. I'll call it task 62 with my name, and I'm going to save it in my classwork folder. Let me start a new assembly. And first I want to insert the pieces that I need. So we need the cylinder, we need the large rectangle, and we need the small triangle. Once I have those pieces, I can place them and then accept by clicking on the green check mark. I'm going to right click in the graphics area and choose zoom to fit so I can see all the pieces that I have. This looks good. And I have to pick one piece that I want to start as the fixed piece that other things are built off of. I'm thinking of using the rectangular prism for that because it connects to the 2 other pieces. So let me get my rectangle centered here. Put my other pieces off to the side for the moment. And before I do anything, I think I need to rotate this block because as you can see in the assembly solution, it's lying on its side. So I can click once on the block to get the triad manipulator, and then I'm going to grab the circle at the tip of the arrow in order to rotate 90 degrees, and there we go. Now that we are in position, I'm going to click once again on the block to find the triad manipulator. If I hover over the circle where the arrows meet, I can right click on that circle and choose move to origin. And then I'll right click on the block again and choose fix. Great. So now that we have fixed kind of a nice foundation in place, let's get our other pieces assembled. Let me start with my triangle. So I think the tricky part might be manipulating the triangle into the position that it needs to be in for our assembly. I'm going to click once on the triangle so I can see that triad manipulator, and we need to think about how do we get into that position. We have 3 degrees of freedom, I guess you could say. We have 3 axes about which we can rotate this triangle. I know I want it to be lying on one side, so I think the way to do that is to grab this side of the triad manipulator and to rotate 90 degrees until we're lying on one side. And then we need the hypotenuse to be facing to the right. So let's grab, now we're going to grab this triad manipulator edge and rotate about the z-axis 90 degrees, and I think we're in a good spot here. I'm going to click off of the block This looks like just the right orientation that we need. It kind of matches what's going on here. So let's go ahead and think about how we're going to mate this triangular prism with the rectangular prism. I see that these faces are very much flat and aligned. I see the corners are aligned. I think that we can probably mate one edge to another. I think that would be the way to go, since we're not centered on the center of the face here. So let's find our fasten mate. We're going to zoom in so we can really see what we're doing. And I'm going to hover over the right edge of this rectangular prism. Now before I even get to the edge, let me hover over the face that is going to be connecting to the face of the triangle. Now that I'm connected, now that I have hovering over the face, I can see some mate connection points. I'm going to hold down my shift key so that they don't move. And here I see this is a good point, I think, to mate on the center of this edge. And I can see it's facing the direction that I want to be in, because I see this blue line that represents the axis that is going to help us connect to the triangle. So let's click on that connection point. And so first, we're going to rotate the world around a little bit. And we want to find, this is the face that's going to meet up with the rectangle. We want to hold down our shift key. This is the edge that will be meeting up with the edge of the rectangle that I was just highlighting. We're going to click on the center of that edge. And if we go to the isometric view, that looks good. That looks like what we have over here. Excellent. So I'm going to accept that fasten mate. And next I'm going to get the cylinder onto the rectangle. In order to do that, I'm going to use fasten mate. I'm going to click on the center of my, the bottom of my cylinder. Definitely is selected now. I'm going to go back to isometric view. And I want to place it on this rectangle. I think I'm going to choose this edge. And I know I'm going to need an offset, right? Because we're not sitting right on the edge. We have to move in a little bit. What axis should I move my offset along? If you said x-axis, you are correct. See this X here and the red line? The red line sort of indicates a direction that our cylinder could follow. And if we follow that direction, I think we'll be heading into the spot where we need to park this cylinder. So we just need to tell what distance do we want to translate on in the x-axis. I'm going to say, let's try 0.525. How is that? Let's try 0.5. I'm going to do 0.5625 the other day. Is that what I'm thinking? Yeah, I think that looks good. So we have our shapes in place. The last step would be to put your name. I think I would put my name on either the top of the cylinder or the side, one side of the rectangle. I'm not going to go through how to do that. I think you've done that so many times. You're really good at it by now. But the other step is you need to turn on hidden edges. So let's have hidden edges visible. And we need to show our mates, our mate features, by clicking on the crossed out eyeball. so it's not crossed out anymore. And that just shows where did I put my mate connection points and what kind of mate did I use. So hopefully you have completed your project. Good luck. Take a screenshot and you can submit it to task 62. Bye now.